I'm not doing no headlines. Welcome to the program tonight. My first guest, the amazing songstress, the queen of neo soul, Miss Angie Stone.
Love you already.
We love you too.
How are you, babe?
Angie Stone, let me ask you a question. Do you even know how amazing you are?
To be honest with you, I don't. I never embraced that part. And people say it all the time, but I guess that, don't do this. I don't, listen, honest to God, I don't. People say, you don't even really know who you are. I know who I am, but I know who I'm not. And I don't get my head inflated. I can't get caught up with that foolishness. They don't pay me enough to get caught up like that. Now, if I start getting them big old Jill Scott and Eric Badu checks, I might blow my head up just a little bit.
Yes, a check.
I'm sorry, I got to shout.
No. A check will change you. Won't it do it?
A check can change you, but just because I love you and we real folk, we know that we got to stay humble because we on borrowed time and we on borrowed money. Ain't none of it ours.
That's good. That's good, Angie Stone. That's good. So let me ask you, because you're right where I was hoping you would be. What in your life consistently reminds you to be grateful?
Oh, Jesus, God, the Almighty, the everlasting, the only friend that we truly have in this world. The one that will take us when we broke, dusted, and busted and can't be trusted. I stay humble because we never know when we turn that corner and tag you're it. So we must remain humble. I mean, I've been flying as high as an eagle and I've been walking as slow as a turtle at some time. And then I got to figure out other ways to survive. But in the meantime, my inspiration comes from the good book. You know, the one that says, basic instructions before leaving Earth.
That's right. That's right.
That's the one that keeps my gas going.
That's good.
My lamp song.
You know, what's interesting about that is because people know you as a neo soul artist, but we don't often get a chance to talk about the soul part of you, the spiritual side of you.
The ministry.
Yeah.
Well, before I became a celebrity or famous, got a little whistle behind my voice, I heard the Lord say when I lost the first Miss Black Teen South Carolina, first or second run up, he says, I got something better in store for you. I heard it just as clear. So at that moment in my life, I really did not desire to win that pageant because I had heard God whisper, don't sweat the small stuff. I got something better in store for you. And I never let go of that. I've always learned to give more than take. And my heart is this big. When it comes to this industry, I have shared layers of the things that I've learned 45 years ago. And I've spread them gracefully to some other artists. And I don't really tell people a lot about that because when I did it from a pure place.
Right.
So that's kind of what keeps me grounded and keeps me going. I think that God has continuously showed me favor because I walk in obedience.
Yeah.
Now the devil is tricky. He'll try to knock you down on your knees, but you always get back up.
That's true.
Because somebody helps you up. Them extra set of footprints we learned about along the way. Yeah, that part.
Yeah, that part. That part every day and twice on Sunday.
Oh, I love it.
But let me tell you, but you've lost weight. I mean, I was watching some other interviews of you. How did you lose this weight? Because I need you to tell me how to do this. Please, bless me.
Okay, well, what I did was I stopped eating meat for 2 years. Being a diabetic was not easy. I began to have, I have, by my parents' DNA, I have chronic high blood pressure. I had a lot of things going on. A lot of health issues going on. I began to experience stuff, and I didn't know why. I exposed to something when I worked as a temp secretary in Presbyterian Hospital. They spilled a chemical that had something in it and exposed me to sarcoidosis. This was about 25, 30 years ago, before that disease was ever heard of by us.
Wow.
And at that point, I think I was 26, 25. They put me on steroids, 60 milligrams, the highest milligram you could get at the time. And I blew up. Now, before I blew up, I was this size, but I wasn't as famous. So nobody knew me at this size. Only the people that signed me and the people that worked with me knew she was always a really tiny girl. But by the time No More Rain came out, I was 230 pounds. And then I was in love with a sex symbol, and he was fine. And everybody was looking like, how did she get he?
Now, who's this sex symbol?
Ain't but 100. We could talk about it back then. How does it feel? That's all I can say. Hush up, girl. Anyway, when it came to be, what they didn't realize is he knew me when I was a little. He had seen me smaller, so he knew also the steroid issue. So I wasn't being loved or judged by my weight. It was the inner spirit that they were in love with.
Yeah, and I'm assuming we're talking about
the beauty
D'Angelo,
on the
right?
outside came with it.
We're talking about D'Angelo, right?
Who said that name? You did.
Yeah, I don't know who said it. It wasn't me.
I don't know. That might be the person. No. Now, yeah, we, when I was in that in that lane, let me put it that way. Yeah. It was a cruel reality. A lot of people began to fight against that because of the weight issue. And because I was a dark-skinned girl with full lips and fat, and to them, that just didn't go together. But what they didn't understand was he was overweight at one point. They just didn't see that part.
So he knew the journey. He understood it. So he knew how to love somebody who was in that journey.
Exactly.
That's a powerful thing. You done messed around and said something on this show.
Yeah, and so when they see him or anybody with weight on, they immediately go, "Oh my God, what happened?" Well, you have to look at the history of a person.
That's right.
Who they become and who they are naturally is one and the same, but we go through phases in life.
That's right.
And God had just blessed me to take me back down to that little girl who started out. But that came with obedience. That came with discipline.
Yeah.
Eating less of the fatty foods, putting down the dead animals, like you said. Because I'm like, so many people that turn to vegan or just start cutting out all that food. I couldn't take all the dead carcasses, the worms, the factor, the parasites, all of the diseases that come along. It scared the mess out of me. until my kidneys became compromised, and the doctor said, "Look, I know you don't want to eat no meat, but we got to get some protein in you."
Yeah.
So the reality is, I'm very, very skeptical now. But if I do eat it once a week, it's because I'm just feeding my body the protein that it needs.
Yeah.
I have to get past the scared part.
I'm sorry, Coach. I just wanted to say I'm glad you're healthy. I'm glad you're feeling good. I'm glad you're looking good. And I'm glad you explained that to people. Because, we're used to seeing Angie Stone the way we're used to seeing Angie Stone,
Y'all
right?
used to seeing that big, thick girl.
We are.
Thickums, Miss Thickums. And the thing about it is, I am now diabetic free.
Oh, well, pump it up. Come on, pump it up for that. That's great. Congratulations.
And I don't care how fat they want me to be, like PHAT. I am fine now because I'm healthier.
That's great.
And the reality is, my mom has diabetes. My aunt died with diabetes. My cousins have diabetes. I am now diabetic free. I no longer have to take insulin, the pills, or anything. So when people say, "Why are you drinking that lemonade?" I'm like, because I can.
How about that?
Because I can now. Because I know how much to drink and what not to drink.
Yeah, no, that's great. Let me applaud that. I think that's great. Congratulations. I know the discipline. I know the sacrifice that it takes to do that. Let me change.
I cook with agave now when I'm making sweet potato souffle. Are you there? I see you moving, but you froze. Come on now. I didn't tell you to vogue in the middle of the session now. You just start voguing on me.
Okay, we're both back together. Listen, let me change gears because you were talking about your journey, and I want to ask you. I have a good time on the show, but I also really try to get into the substance of someone's life. And here's my question for you: as you look at your journey, who loved you the most?
Oh, if I have to be real honest about who loved me the most, I would say my European fans, because their outcry was just something that was so obvious. Now, of course, you know, God is my number one all in all call. But outside of my band members, the one that I've been with for the last 10 years, I would say my fans, my dedicated, loyal fans that show up at every concert, no matter how long it's been, and in the front row in the same spot. That is love and loyalty.
It's interesting because I would think that most people might expect you to say a family member, right? Or a cousin or something. But
they love you, but cousins, some family members are very jealous. Some family members are not understand. You know, when you talk about family, now let's put that in a category that really where it belongs. We have to remember that family views you as equal. They don't care what you got and how you got it. When you come to family, all the star status stuff, we ain't with that because you ain't nobody over here but one of us.
Right.
So, you know, the family can love you that way and make you feel 100 times 100 the celebrity. But then you have the family, some family that expect you to adorn them because they're looking at you for what they feel you can do for them. And I think that a lot of people get this business twisted. They think it's all dollars and cents, but trust me, it's really smoke and mirrors. And what they really need to understand is it is a job. And the title that we carry is an hallucination of what you think it should be. It's far from it.
That's deep. That's rich.
Very.
That's rich. And that's great. That's great wisdom and counsel for young people who are trying to get in this business and do well. It makes me want to ask you, I want to stay on this track before we get to more of your musical life. But tell me, where do you feel most at home?
Well, I feel most at home when I'm at home. The truth of the matter is, when I think of home, I think of giving back. I think of loving on people. I think of touching, reaching out, touching. My passion is for senior citizens, believe it or not.
I didn't know that.
Because for me, they are the lost ones. They are the ones that gets thrown away, overlooked, forgotten. I love them as if they're newborn babies. So that's love for me. That's a passion that can't nobody strip away from me. If I had the ability, I have a foundation called the Angel Stripes. If I could go to every senior citizen home in every town that I went to, I would book 2 days, a show day and just a show day, where I would show up and hang out with them all day and laugh, because they are super funny and they're too cute. And I would just want to give them some time and attention and just show them that you mean so much and your journey is not forgotten.
That's so rich. That's rich and important. I see now why we love your music so much, because it comes from who you are and it comes from what you believe about the world and what you believe about relationships. Your music is powerful because it grabs you and it moves you, even if you don't want to move, your music makes you move. And I've always wondered, listening to your music, where does that power come from? Sometimes it comes from pain, but in your case, it seems as if it comes from something more than just pain. It comes from what you hope for the world.
Yes. I used to have a thing it used to scare me sometimes, because I could write a song that would be before my destiny, but the song would actually dictate what's happening next. So there are songs like y'all's favorite, Wish I Didn't Miss You. It was my least favorite song at the time. Oh my God. People love that song. I remember when Clive Davis said, "We got one more song to put on the album." Shout out to Andrea Martin and Ivan Matias, who wrote the song. When they I'm like, oh man, I thought my album was finished. I don't want to do this song. And to me, it was a house track. And I'm like, oh, it turned out to be one of my biggest songs today.
It's a great song.
I didn't want to sing the song because as it was stand, that song, Wish I Didn't Miss You and Every Day, became prolific in my breakup of that beautiful relationship. And people just thought I wrote that about this person. And I did this. I mean, every song began to dictate. I would start scared to listen to what I was writing. I'm like, wait a minute. Is this a premonition?
Listen, Angie, I got to take a break. Let's take a quick break, and then I want to come back to that.
Okay.
We'll be right back with the incomparable Angie Stone. We got to be related. I'm telling you.
You know, you're my cousin.
We have to be related because we think too much alike.
Okay.
Because our director, Hailey, was counting us down back into the break, and Angie was messing up his count. And I told her, I want to do that to him every day. 3,
7, 2, 4, 8, 1.
So
3.
listen, let me ask you this. Tell me how music saves you. How did music save you?
It is, music saved me because it's my go-to. Whenever I need to cry, whenever I need to laugh, whenever I need to do anything, I can refer to music as my go-to. Because unlike so many people who can call their pastors all time of the night, when I'm going through whatever I'm going through, ups, downs, I can, fortunate enough for YouTube now, we can have ministry through music. But one of the things that I know for a fact is that God has blessed me with the ability to interpret pain, joy, laughter, even confusion. I know how to put it into words. So sometimes I would just write and to escape. I used to write poetry. I had a book full of poems. And some of my managers would say, why don't you just give me the book? Let me publish it. I'm like, no, because a lot of it is God's direct words to me. I remember when I started trying to understand, when I started to speak in tongues, I didn't really understand what people were talking about. And then God spoke to me in dreams to tell me what tongues meant. And I was like, I would speak a word and I'll say, I could hear him clearly say what it meant. And when I started to be obedient and listen, I could hear music. There were times I could get up in the middle of the night. God would put a song in my head and I could get up and start writing because I can't forget this. In the morning, how am I going to do this? You know what I mean? I'm in that space. So music has been a go-to for me because I'm an only child. I have nobody else. For all these years, I had no playmates. It was me, myself, and I. It was me in the mirror. Do you know who I was in the mirror? I was Aretha Franklin. I was Gladys Knight. I was Betty Wright. When I went in that mirror, it was Angie Stone and Shaka Khan. So whenever I wanted to be any of those folks, man, I just went to the mirror. That was my playmate. So they were, if you get my point, they were all about the music.
I do. And what I hear you saying, you tell me if I got it right. Music saved you from loneliness. It saved you from isolation. Yes. It saved you from not knowing who you were. You found out who you were in the music of the people you loved.
Yes. Their stories became my journey. My journey was, I already had a pathway. I had a green light. I was educated. It said a wise man learns from someone else's mistake. So if somebody else can talk about the pain and tell me how they fixed it a long way, guess what? Before I get there, I'm going to remember, well, Betty Wright said she did it like this. Shaka said she did it like this. Oh, wait a minute. Aretha Franklin said she did it like this. So I'm already soaking it up. So by the time I got to the lane where I was supposed to be jealous or envious of somebody, no, sir. I wasn't going to be, I'm going to be mad at you. I'm too worried about what I'm going to do next to try to stop you. I ain't got time to stop nobody.
That's powerful. So let's do this because I love your mind. I'm going to give you some words, right? Okay. And you tell me whatever comes to mind when I give you these words. All right.
Okay.
Let's just let it flow. See what the spirit does. Okay. Here's the first one. Love.
Loyalty. Dedication. Commitment. Honesty.
Soul.
Spiritual gratification. from the inside out.
Here's the next one. Suffering.
Unexplained disappointment.
Joy.
Overwhelming acceptance of self.
Here's the last one because I have the devil in me. D'Angelo.
I will always love you.
Oh, that was good. Oh, that was good. That got me.
Good.
I wasn't expecting you to say it. I thought you was gonna laugh it off. Oh my God, that was good. I will. Isn't that what you want years later for somebody? Go ahead.
You know, when you've experienced true love, real love, it never dies. Even though you go your separate ways and life goes on for everyone and you take different paths, you never ever forget the purest of love. And that was a genuine love that no one has ever been able to compete with. And not for nothing, there has been great lovers, but when you're talking about the core of love, I will always love him.
Oh,
no matter how pissed off I get, okay?
I still love you.
He's still the bomb.com. He's a genius and he's my baby daddy. So, you know, I got to respect that.
Yeah. Listen, so Maya Angelou says that the cage bird sings of freedom, and that's why it sings. So let me ask you this. Why do Black women sing?
I'm going to say Black women sing because we're enslaved. And when I say we're enslaved to a system that don't understand. As queens, we serenade our kings. So if we have to do it behind bars, we'll do it. But our serenading goes because we believe in the kings that they try to destroy.
You better shut up. That's how good that was. You better shut up on this show tonight.
Okay.
Woo! Wow.
I got to represent because as my brothers and sisters as well, because I don't want to seem one-sided, I will always hold a torch for our sisters, for our kings, because when I thought about we were brought over on the boats in chains, the only reasons we were locked down is because they were afraid of our strength.
Yeah,
and
afraid of the song. That's right.
If we weren't as strong as we were, we would never have to be locked away. But in order to keep an eagle down, you've got to cage him. Let him go, and he rules the world.
That's rich. That's rich. Miss Stone, I tell people all the time that sometimes conflict is the only confirmation you get of your greatness.
Okay. That's why we related. Okay.
So listen, before we go, I got about 4 minutes left. Tell me about your production company, because I've been hearing you got a production company. You are doing things, planning things. Tell me about this.
I've been trying to do this forever. You know, I'm a multitask. I'm a jack of all trades. I like to do. How I've been relevant all these years is because when everybody's going left, I go right. I have two. One is called Pies LLC, and the other one is called Cornerstone. It's the stone that the builders rejected became the head cornerstone. And I feel like I'm at that place now where everything that I've given music all these years, I want to try my hand at creating, directing, writing, and producing shows. And that's where I am. As a matter of fact, I'm on a high right now because we're about to produce something that's out of this world.
That's great. I mean, I think it's fantastic. I think,
thank you.
You know, people like you and many of the great neo soul artists, Jill Scott, you know, we mentioned D'Angelo, Music Soul Child, Erykah Badu, all of these great neo soul artists, 90s, right? That golden era. You guys come from that era of music that everybody's trying to get back to you. Yes.
That's right. Thank you. That meant a lot because I think when we first started out, a lot of people didn't understand because we did like a road switch midway. They was doing something, then D'Angelo came, and then I came, and then boom, everybody's like, oh my God, this is the train I want to get on. And everybody's been riding that train all the way out.
Yeah, well, it's a train worth riding. Let me tell you that. I mean, just powerful music, powerful voices. I mean, it's amazing when you think of the grip that neo soul. You could play 2 notes or 2 beats of a neo soul song, one of your songs, and you know exactly what that music is.
Mm-hmm. It makes you feel grown and sexy, number one. And number two, it just hits home every time when you think about music doing love and how he took that song and metaphorically took that word and made it mean so many things. It just blows me away. You know, and when you sit back and you think of Erykah Badu and you think of the simplicity. Back in the day, they had a song called Sing a Simple Song. When people simplify things, it's a big win.
Are there any artists today that you just love who reminds you of the rich time where your music and this music we're talking about was at the forefront? Any artists today that you just go, Dr. Sean, keep your eye on this one?
Mali Music.
Oh, yes. I love Mali.
Mali Music.
Yes.
Jazmine Sullivan. You know, certain people just sit in a category all by themselves. H.E.R. You know what I mean? Daniel. I mean, they kind of sit by themselves. They have this it factor.
I got a Mali Music story. So Mali Music came to our when Fox Soul was in the studio. We were doing my show on the studio here in LA. He was on the Tammy Mac show one night, right? I think you were on the Tammy Mac show before too, right? Yes. And so anyway, so he was outside and I pulled up and I saw him outside. So when I got out the garage, I came up and he was just outside and I said, Mali Music. I said, do you even know how great you are? And he said, you know, he kind of all shucks me and he's like, well, you know, people have been telling me that, but I don't see the evidence. I said, Mali Music, I am the evidence.
The evidence. Okay. Yes, that's brilliant. And, you know, I'm going to tell you how much she's impacted me. I'm trying to do my biopic. I refuse to not have it done. There's quite a few people that's been asking me about it. And I'm receiving it like I'm going to do it. I don't care what it takes. I called him. He was like, oh my God, Angie Stone. I said, listen, I'm calling you because number one, I want to use one of your songs to open up my movie. And number two, would you do me the honors and do the soundtrack? And he was like, oh my God, you what? Yeah, what? So I'm just waiting. Just like him. I'm waiting to get my movie done. Whoever decides to get it going. Whenever we get it going, Mali Music is doing the soundtrack. That's I might let a couple of people put a song here or there, but he's doing the bulk of it because he's a genius to me.
I think I should be in the movie too. I should have like a little part where I introduce something. No?
Well, we're family. I got you.
All right.
We family. Right.
Well, listen, you got to come back on because I love talking to you.
Absolutely. I love talking to you. Wait a minute. What month were you born? I ain't gonna say what you sang.
June. You know, I'm June. I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. My mom is a Gemini.
See there? Now listen.
I'm a Sagittarius though.
My mom was a Sagittarius.
See there? That's what it is. See how we just fit? It's like we know each other.
That's right.
I know you can
I'm not D'Angelo. I'm not D'Angelo, but I'm all right.
No, but you know what? You flip like my mom. Sometimes you're that other person. Y'all flip, switch off, and
okay, we got to go now. We got to go now. Listen, Angie, make sure you tell Music Soul Child we said hi tomorrow because I know you're gonna be with him tomorrow.
Know tomorrow. I got you, Booker Sean. We gonna make it happen, okay?
All right, everybody. Listen, I got to go because I got to get Call Me Ace out here. Thank you for coming on, Miss Angie Stone. I have loved talking to you.
Likewise. Be blessed. Stay away from Corona, okay?
Facts.
I love you.
I love you too. We'll be right back, everybody.
See you soon. All right, baby. Bye-bye, guys.